Hey everyone, hey everyone. Sorry about that. Getting the audio straight. Now, I invited a bunch of people out today that wanted to come and check it out. Go figure, I would have my internet literally break down right before we start. So I'm very sorry. Usually our internet's perfectly fine. We don't have any problems, and we're starting right at 9, 10, and 11. So we should be good for 10 and 11. But thank you for your patience for those of you. Today we're doing something a little different. And we invited people that are in our social networks. Hey, if you guys want to come check out the class, feel welcome. So I want to, first of all, say welcome to each and every one of you that are here today. Also, I wanted to let you know that in this class today, many of those that are my students that are already on here are, of course, they've been going through the classes. You know, they know the songs that we're talking about, like the one that's here up on the screen today. And there's a lot of different things like that. They're already kind of in play. So I know today you're kind of jumping on and checking it out. And we're so glad that you're here to get a feel for it. And we pray that you would be blessed. And also that you would have patience with us as we jump into a series of classes. This is week 17. Well, that is already in session and it's kind of already in motion. And so we're really, really grateful that you're here today. And again, all of my students here, guys, welcome back today. I'm glad you're here. We did something different. Again, we invited friends to come over and check it out. And we're so glad that you guys are here. All right. So today I want to do something really quickly. I want to start off. First of all, actually, let me not forget something. My son Mike is here. He is our moderator. You can ask him questions anytime throughout the broadcast. And as it's appropriate, he'll jump on there and say, hey, you know, so-and-so has a question, whatever. And that's the cool thing I love about these classes is because I think the classes themselves, if they were just videos, they'd be cool. If it was just me showing you these songs and showing you my approach, of course, this is beginner, but next hour we're going to have intermediate, and then the final hour at 11 a.m. it's going to be advanced. However, that's cool, but to be able to interact and to be able to send me, you know, a video of you playing the songs and me being able to give you feedback, I think that's the real dynamic part about these online classes. It's not just videos that appear online somewhere. It's like, I'm here. I want to be in this journey with you because I really feel like when you have interaction with your students and don't just send them a video, you know, because I could do that and that'd be great. And I think there are many people that have learned that way. That's how the old MPAC was. But this here today, I'm able to hear from you and we're able to get your questions and we're oh so happy to do it. So me and Mike are here for you today and we want to do the very best that we can so that you guys feel like you are really learning and having a great learning experience here with us on School of Minstrels Online. Okay, so I want to do a little bit of a review from last week. Last week we talked about Came to My Rescue, and we're doing it in C because, you know, we're kind of new. Actually, let me change that split point. If you notice that the red should be representing the left hand. So let me just make sure. There we go. Yeah, that should be good for now. Okay, cool. So this song Came to My Rescue by Hillsong. It's really cool. And we were talking about it last week. So we talked about, you know, here's 1, right? Here's 5. Here's 6. Here's 4. You know, and that takes care of the verse. Falling on my knees in worship, giving all I am to seek your face, right? And it's repeated, those 2 dots. For those of you that are new to this class, these 2 dots here are very simply just means repeat the section. Lord, all I am, or have, I forgot what it says exactly. I do apologize. You can look it up yourself on YouTube if you'd like, no problem. And then C, again, the chorus portion. Actually, that's the chorus portion and the verse portion. So let me make that clear. The thing I like about these M charts is, and I'm going to adjust that to say V/C because it's both the verse and the chorus. Watch. I call, you answered, and you came to my rescue and I. Of course, you notice I'm repeating the section. You are, right? Now, it changes over to the vamp after I think like a verse, and a chorus, or maybe a verse, chorus, verse, and then a double chorus possibly. But however you do the arrangement, one of the things I want you to see is that the vamp, and I'm going to be honest with you, this vamp is a perfect example of the way CCM music works best. And you say, what do you mean? Well, the truth is, if you look at this at face value, I mean, this is a cool chart. It's a cool song. But if you look at it, it's like, it's really simple. I mean, you notice I did the verse, I did the chorus with this one section here where it says C, which is supposed to be for chorus, but it's supposed to be verse and chorus. Anyways, my point is this. In this song, it could be so simple that it could be kind of detrimental, you know? If you're playing in church and say you don't have a drummer and say you don't have a guitarist and you don't have all those elements that the original Hillsong recording has on there, you might be like, oh man, like really? Like, okay, like this is super simple. And it's like, for those of you that are like me, you get a little ADD and you're like, man, this is kind of boring. So one of the things I want to show you is that the big key for making a lot of these, there's a few big keys, but one of the big keys for making these songs come to life and sound great is a few things. The first thing is that these songs literally thrive on what's called dynamics. And dynamics has to do with the volume variation in a song, the growth, the excitement, if you will, you know, and it uses volume and the variation of volume, soft, medium, loud, you know, crazy, you know, like, you know, this song, I've heard people go, sorry about that, excuse me, in my life, and just be like, you know, did I in my world, and I'm sorry for being so loud, but it can get to that point where the dynamic range is so high that people are really like, oh my God, this is cool. Like they're going in. It could be like that. But the truth is the song could also go back down to, I call, you answer, and you came to my rescue, and I wanna be where you. So these songs thrive off of dynamic range. Now, the second thing that I would say is these songs are heavily dependent on ambience, atmosphere, if you will. And to get that ambience, a lot of times you'll hear this on, especially this age, this era of Hillsong songs, pad everywhere. Like, let me show you guys really quickly, okay? So I'm going to go over to YouTube, but I'm not going to click out of here because I want to be able to stay in our window here. But just trust me that I'm in YouTube right now, okay? And if you search YouTube, and we talked about this a little bit last week, if you search YouTube and you search worship pads in C, this is a free resource that you can use. You could plug, say, your phone in to your system once you get this pad on. Watch, check this out. Oh, we have to watch
Emily
this
needs
thing.
a photographer, an editor, and a designer.
It's going through an ad. Okay, I skipped it. Sorry about that. There you go. And literally, just this one free worship pad that I found on YouTube right now, and I'm playing it through my system the way you could do with your sound system, is already giving us that ambience. Then, of course, Hillsong will do something like, they have the most amazing like tone in their guitars. They have guitars like all kinds. Let me see. Do I have a guitar in here? Let me see if I have something. I might not have anything, but let's just see. I'm just going straight for my piano, so give me a second. No, that's more like a. Let's see. Maybe like that, you know. Nah, they don't use that kind of guitar. But anyways. They have the guitar layers there. They layer different guitars. Some will be like, doo-dee-dee. You know what I mean? Doo-dee-dee. Like they have like little lead thingies. Then a guy on acoustic, like, jing, 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 jing. So lots of layers of guitars for ambience. Even the drums will be like boom, boom, whatever, or something like that. Lots of toms with mallets, you know what I mean? So a lot of these songs, if you look at them, they're simple, but the reason why they're beautiful is we begin to add all these layers. And for me, as a pianist, something I can do if I don't have all that stuff is I can put on the pads that you hear in the background, and I can also add like reverb to my piano. Watch. You hear that? I'm gonna do like a hall reverb. And maybe like a delay. So maybe I'll tap like so. Falling on my. I'm tapping my delay. Of course, you can do this with pedals that you find on like OfferUp or whatever, or if you have a Nord like I do, I thank God for that. It has it on the keyboard itself. And a lot of keyboards you could do reverbs and delays, by the way. It's not just Nords. It's just I like it because it's right here in front of me. Watch. Oh wait, they also do lots of compression. Hear the compression in there? So now it has like this ambient sound. Hear that? So the third thing, so we talked about the first thing being, we talked about the way you could use pads to make ambience. We talked about the dynamics that these songs grow to make them sound cool because they're simple. So how do you make them sound cool? That's two things. The other thing I would definitely say here is that you can change the chords to not just be roots. They still sound cool. Watch. So even the roots sound cool. See that? But you can adjust your chords so that they have a very open sound. Now, let's talk about this really quickly. Let me turn off these pads because I feel like worshiping while I'm supposed to be teaching. But let me show you something about chords and how to use chords to your advantage when you're playing CCM. One of the chords that I really like to use in CCM sounds like not a big deal, but instead of doing this one root position, because this is a beginner class and at this point we're in root still, we just barely started discussing this. But you do inversions. An inversion is when you take the chord and it's the same harmonies. Let me turn this off for a second. It's the same harmony, but you invert it. So like that C, you take that C and you put it up there. That's one inversion, right? But the inversion that I use most is the second inversion. That was the first inversion. You take that E and you put it up there. And I take that inversion and I usually put it down here. And has a really cool sound. Watch when I put everything on. And then what it does is it sets me up to play the next really cool chord in these CCM type songs. And by the way, this came to my worship. I'm using this song that we did last week to be able to illustrate to you something that you can use over and over again on CCM type songs. And let me tell you, if you're playing in a church where they really value you playing these things authentically, they're gonna thank me for this video, for not teaching. Giving all I am to see your face. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they're gonna thank me for showing you the authentic way. Oh, anyways, okay. So let's go back to this. I know I'm being funny. Okay, so that's your first chord that you can change. You can change it from a root position C to a second inversion C. And you bring it in, instead of inverting it and keeping it up there, you bring it down back to an octave. It's the second inversion, okay? And then you have your next chord. It brings you very close. Look at that finger position, okay? Is G for 5, right? G. And we usually do it like this, but to get an open sound, a lot of times you want to suspend it. So you get that B right there and you move it up to a C. So it's like, falling on my knees in worship. Even though it's usually falling on my knees in worship. This time we adjusted it to go falling on my knees in worship. And here's one more thing that I do. You can do 6, but look at how close 6 is to doing 1/6. And I do that quite a bit. Let me show you how it sounds. Falling on my knees in worship, giving. See that? You almost didn't hear that minor. But this A, the 6, if you will, see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is in plain minor. Giving all I have. Now, this is another thing that I did. Another adjustment is, here's the regular 4, which is an F major, but I get this 4 and I also suspend it. It becomes an F add 9. Now, today is not that day, but if you go over to the intermediate classes, for those of you that are students, and you go back to, I think it's like week 7 or 8. Anyways, we talk about the contemporary fix-all chord, and that would bring us to another way of doing 4. And you guys can definitely join. There's a free, I'm sorry about this, guys. I'm not sure what in the world I did with my alarm clock, but it will not forgive me for, it's like, wake up, Mama, I am awake. Anyways, so if you go back there, you'll see that you can do a 4 like that, but a lot of times with that contemporary fix-all chord that we talked about, that you can check out for yourself if you want to sign up. It's a 7-day free trial for those of you that are visiting today. But you can do this, which is actually that same 5, that sus 2, that sus 4. See that? You could actually use it on 4. Let me illustrate. Watch. And let me put on our cool pads again so you can see how cool it sounds in that right atmosphere, that right ambience. Okay? Falling on my knees. And these are all the adjusted chords. Giving all I have to see. Repeat. Phase 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 3, 4, 1. Now here comes the contemporary fix-all chord. See how it works? If you want to do rhythmic playing, talked about this last week. God of mercy, humbled I. The regular roots sound good. Watch. See? Still works. Nothing wrong with it. But for those of you that want to take this week to really improve, okay? Chorus. I call to. And I usually stop doing rhythm on the chorus to give it space to breathe. 2, 3. And you came to my rescue and I'm going to do the adjusted chords now. You are 1/6 instead of regular 6, and then a 4 suspended at 9. I call to second inversion of the C and did I run out of pad? Hold on.
So when I needed an e-commerce site with all...
Sorry about that, guys. We ran out of pad there. Let's see if it'll let us do this.
Need to build
quickly.
a website? If you're a doer.
1 second, fellas and fellettes. There we go. Oh yeah, that would be the downside of getting these pads on YouTube, is that if you guys worship a long time, they will quit on you after 8 minutes and 33 seconds. So you got to be prepared to have or don't sing longer than 8 minutes and 33 seconds. Of course, I'm teaching, so this is probably uncommon. 8 minutes and 33 seconds is usually more than enough to be able to do your one song. Okay, so then let's talk about how I might approach the vamp. So, in my life, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. In my life, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. I may be rhythm. My life be lifted high, in my world be lifted high. I think this has too much reverb for me to do that. 1 second. Sorry, I had to adjust it. Lifted high. One more time. In my life. So this is just a regular 6. Then 5/7 is G over B. G chord over B. And then again back down. Same thing. G over B. My world. Then down to 5. And then 4. And then that last 4 you can to build like some excitement, if you notice on that last 4 of the vamp, I go, instead of going 1, 2, 3, 4, I go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and in mine, and then go back to the quarters. So that's what I do for the vamp. Sometimes at first, to create more like excitement for the vamp, you can go like this. In my life, and just hold the sustain pedal like I am. Be lifted high in my world. Especially if you have your guitar player, it can be kind of cool. Lifted high, like leave it open. Be lifted high. Then maybe pick up rhythm in 8 quarter notes. See that? 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm playing every quarter. My world be lifted high, right? 2, 2. Down to 5. Lifted 4. And watch me use this last 4 as a 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and in my life. Now to make it bigger, not only am I doing the bass here on A, but off of your screen here, I'm doing an A lower than that to make an octave. So, in my life, and that sounds kind of cool. Watch. Be lifted. You can see the octave when I come into C. It's really cool. Be lifted. I'm still doing the octave. I'm even doing the octave on the 1 and 2 and 3, 4 in my life. Really, really cool. Now, I want to show you something that you can do from a chord perspective. And you say, okay, for those of you that are students that have been with me for 17 weeks now, why are we choosing this song? Can't we do it on another song? Absolutely, but I want to illustrate to you how just doing these few things, like changing up the chords to make them more open, you know, doing the inversion and bringing it lower to bring some more weight, instead of going, sounds more like a Casio, you know what I mean? Sounds a little bit more substantial when you do that. Also using like the pads like I have in the background, they're free resources. I mean, it's such a great idea, I think, by the way. And this brings these types of songs, the CCM, Hillsong, those ambient type songs, even the Elevation's doing like, oh, come to the altar, the Father's arms are open wide, forgiveness was bought with the precious blood of Jesus Christ.
When I to run my business,
Sorry about that.
I found a designer for my logo, a program.
That's so funny how, like,
If you're like me, then you like.
I'm not like you, okay? And I'm just kidding. That's so funny. To be able to use these pads, I have to watch all these commercials. They're like, wait a second. This guy's having too much fun with our pads. Let's commercialize him. Let's monetize this bad boy. Anyways. Okay. So are you guys kind of getting a feel for this? You know, so this is really, really cool. Let me show you guys this week. Actually, let me check. For those of you that are students, let me check to make sure that we have not done "Oh Come to the Altar," because I don't want to show you guys something that we've already done. But now that I just started singing it randomly, I was like, you know what? That's actually a really cool song. Oh, that's a really cool song to learn. Okay, so we have about 5 minutes left, and we are going to start that song. Even if we don't finish it, we can start that song. So let me see if I can pull it up in my files here. I'm pretty sure I've done "Oh Come to the Altar," so I probably have it in one of my files. I know you guys cannot see what I'm doing here on the screen, so I apologize. This is kind of like, oh man, what is this guy doing? I can't see what he's doing. But I'm going to show you, okay? In the past few weeks, we've also been talking about the idea here of being able to, and guys, this whole chart is handwritten. You're like, duh, you know? So I apologize for those of you that are like, really? Like, you know, but I write these like, and while I'm doing the class, so I'm sorry. If it looks like a chalkboard, kind of pretty much is. That's what a Wacom tablet does. If you're not, calligraphist, I am not. So that's so funny. Okay, cool. Does anybody have any questions so far before I go into the song for all of my students here? It's a great song to do this week, by the way. I'm super pumped about it. Okay, I see some questions here on the YouTube. Yasmin Martinez says, hey, good morning, Aaron. May God continue to... Thank you so much to bless my ministry. Anna Carmona says, I don't even play piano, but man, I can't stop watching. That's awesome, Anna. Thank you for hanging out with us. Joe Reyes, good stuff, bro. Thank you. You're welcome, guys. By the way, Anna, you can learn how to play piano. It's a lot of fun. It's easy, especially when you study with me. I'll show you how to do everything from the beginning. Not a problem. Mike, do you have any questions there on the Thinkific platform? You're good? Okay, cool. All right, guys, remember, those of you that are students studying with me, you guys already know this, but let me remind you that you guys can ask questions throughout the week, even if you're not watching live. For those of you like, hey, I can't wake up at 9 in the morning. I went to work, blah, 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 whatever, or I'm working, or I have a church thing. Don't worry. We archive all these classes so that you guys can come back and learn these. Okay, let's get into Oh Come to the Altar today. I love this song so much. And this is also another good illustration of how to do this ambient type thing that I believe was facilitated and brought into our culture, our church culture, if you will, greatly in part from Hillsong. So I do thank God for them for that. I'm really grateful for that. And so because it's made it accessible for many of you to be able to play music and not have to be, back in the day, our songs were like, literally, this is like Sunday morning. Like, yeah, not something you could learn in a weekend with me. It was like, it'd be like a whole private lessons for 8 weeks, and then you could learn 2 of those songs, So thank God for that. All right, so here we are, Oh Come to the Altar. This is a 6/8 song, but for those of you that study with me, you know that I like to write in 6/4 because it's similar and it's easy to read. And it's just a preference that I have that I like to do. Okay, so you can notice here, are you broken and hurting within? Of course, I'm not the singer for that song. Overwhelmed by the weight of your sin. And then you notice that you have a 1/6. This is the 1/6 that I choose, the one that I was telling you guys about today, the second inversion. And for those of you that study with me on the regular, I want you guys to know that this is one of the greatest ideas. You're saying, really? A second inversion 1? Yes, a second inversion 1 is one of the greatest ideas, is because it keeps you in the same area. See? I can play 1 through 8 chords very close. Watch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and literally stay within the same area generally. And this is really helpful when you're reading because, for those of you that know, once you finally get around to playing piano in the church and you're new, like, you're not trying to get thrown off. You're not trying to make things more difficult for you. If anything, you're trying to make it more simple. So one of the things that you can do when you are using these inversions is you're making your playing more simple so that you can read if it's a song that you're not familiar with. The other thing is that it does sound more substantial being towards the lower middle section of the piano. Of course, you guys can't see my entire piano here. I'm only using a section because I want to fit it in the screen and have it to, be larger enough for you guys to really see what's going on. But just so you guys know, this is super duper duper important, even where you place your chords. Okay, so anyways, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then you repeat. 2, 3. Are you not? And I'm playing every dotted half, basically every 3 beats. Now, for those of you that are not familiar, you notice here under the 1, I have the rhythm dotted whole. Dotted whole is equal to 6 beats, which is perfect for a 6/4 song. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then you change 1, 2. So you notice, watch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2. Overwhelmed by the weight of your sin, Jesus is calling. Also, this is a good time for me to share with you guys as far as rhythm and practice is concerned. If you guys go onto your student area today, when we're done with this class, I'll be sure to make sure that you have your loops. And so, for example, this is another thing that we like to do because it's helpful to us. Once we've learned the chords, because you can't always play in time right away, but once you've learned the chords, it's really cool to be able to like, let's see, do I have a 6/8? Give me 1 second, everybody. I'm going to get us here. I know. I'm sorry. I'm just looking for a loop really quick. I know this is off screen, so you guys can't see this. Here's one that might work. See, this one counts like a 4/6. Watch. 6/4. Excuse me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3. So this could be useful. It's a little fast, but it works. Watch. Are you broken and hurting within? Overwhelmed by the weight of your sin? Jesus is calling. Then repeat. Have you come to the end of yourself? Something rather Jesus is calling. And then you hold it, an extra one, to go to the chorus. Now watch this. Oh, come to, and I'm using mixed numbers now. The Father's arms are open wide. Forgiveness. I'll explain it right now, okay? The precious blood of Jesus, right? Run to the altar. All right, so you guys get the idea. So let me explain this to you. Sorry, I'm going to turn off our rhythm section there. But that was just to illustrate to you, for those of you that want to practice with loops. We have loops that I put on there. I'll put on something that's a little bit more, it's a little slower. Of course, these loops, for those of you guys that don't know, that are students, you guys should know. But if you didn't know, there's a bonus content area in your user area, and it will take you to the bonus content. And you look for where it says M loops, and you go to the loop section, and then you can press downloadable content, I think. And those loops that are available to just play, you could also download them in the loop section. Okay, I do that for you guys just because I think it's helpful. If these loops are not updated, I'll be sure to update them. If not today, they'll be up there by Tuesday, because I usually come back to work Tuesday morning. We take Monday off to work on School of Minstrels or Minstrels Live stuff. So apologize about that. But your classes will be up, your charts will be up, and more than likely a good loop for you to practice along will be up right at around 12:30 today, of course, Southern California time. I know right now, Joel Reyes from Chicago says it's 11:40 over there, or now 11:44. But anyways, all right, guys. So that's the basic start of this, and I kind of want to explain a few things, and then we'll get into this more next week. But this is another opportunity for you to see the use of mixed numbers. On the chorus, you'll notice it's "Oh, come to," and then 4/2 means 4, which is an F major. Of course, we're in the key of C. And then the bass of D, or the 2. See, 1, 2. The altar, then 1/6. 1/6. The Father's arms are open wide. Forgiveness, 4/2. Pod with 1/6. You know, and so there's a lot of that. And then next week we'll get into the "Oh, what a Savior," and we'll do a full tutorial on this. But I hope this was helpful to you to see just how you use, you know, these different, I don't know, they're keys, if you will. They're tools that you can use. You know, yeah, you can play your basic root positions like we've been studying, students. But the truth is, there's a couple things that you can do, like mixed numbers, like suspended chords, you know, like using pads, like, you know, using loops, things like that, that will really bring these songs to life, especially if you're in a situation in your church where you don't really have a lot of musicians. That's a pretty common situation for a lot of students. So I hope you enjoyed this. Again, friends, this is a kind of a rare opportunity. We don't usually open these to everybody. These are mostly for our students, but today we invited everyone, and I hope you enjoyed it. I'm going to move on. At 10 o'clock, we have our intermediate class. Today, that will also be open to everyone. You're welcome to join us at 10 o'clock. Same channel here on YouTube. But if you want to join our classes and become our student, it's a simple subscription. It's $49 a month, and you get one new class every single week. Now, the truth is, you get 3 classes for these first 52 weeks of the year because we are building our curriculum. And not only do you get the class that you're in, say if you want to be intermediate or advanced or beginner, but the truth is you have access to all the classes, and that's how I want to keep it. I want to keep it that if you're the person that says, I'm not sure, am I beginner, intermediate? I want you to know that you have access to all the classes. Now, of course, my suggestion is that if you're a beginner, that you would say, you know what, I'm going to stick to this beginner thing and go through all the beginner classes first, then go through all the intermediate classes, and then go through the advanced classes. And don't worry, the classes grow every single week by the grace of God. And the charts grow every week. Our charts list grows and our loops list grows. And it's a lot of fun. It's a fun community. And pretty soon here, probably once I reach half the year, say we get it to around week 24 or something like that, we're going to start doing some really, really cool special guest stuff as well. I'm really excited about that. Also, for those of you that are mostly in Spanish, or you have a lot of stuff going on in Spanish at your church, and you speak English like me maybe, or if you don't, which, yeah, anyways. My point is this, that I recorded a bunch of new Spanish songs in Spanish with Joseph Espinosa. They're tutorials that we're going to be charging so that people that don't speak English could learn how to play these songs. And of course, they're Spanish songs, and the tutorials are in Spanish. But for those of you that are students, you get all these videos entirely free. They're going to appear in your bonus content. It's going to be a lot of fun, guys. And so there's a lot of really, really great content here for you for only $49 a month. I used to pay $49 per lesson. It was an hour lesson, $49. This way, you get a half an hour lesson every single week, 4 of them. The truth is, like I said, for the first 52 weeks, you actually get a month. That's 4 times 3. You get 12 lessons every month for the first 52 weeks. And then after that, we're going to do 1 tutorial every week. And the truth is, I might even do some in every category, beginner, intermediate, advanced. But as we build that, guys, we hope you guys have a great day. If you want to join us, feel free. If not, we hope you enjoyed this time with us. God bless you. We'll see you soon.